If you've read any of our other articles on airport seizures, you know that border security have seen all kinds of cheeky travelers. The Silly Border Seizures and the Ridiculous Drug Trafficking Attempts might have made you chuckle, but you've seen that it gets a lot more outlandish. From the most shocking airport seizures to crazy animal smuggling stories and cool weaponry confiscated by border security, we've shown you the best and the worst of airport confiscations. Victor Twartz is not your average drug smuggler. He's a devout Seventh-day Adventist. His wardrobe consists entirely of tweed suits, and at 91 years old he's the oldest person to ever be charged with smuggling cocaine. This retired dental surgeon from Sydney was discovered while trying to smuggle almost 5 kilograms of cocaine from India to Australia disguised as soap. He was reportedly scammed by an Indian gang. They contacted him over the internet, and later met him in Delhi to hand over the soap meant for someone in Australia. When Victor checked the soap, he thought that the streaks of white stuff in it were perhaps additional perfume. Having found out about the drugs, Twartz said that those responsible for duping him should be cast in a lake of fire. Another elderly gentleman was stopped at the Barcelona's El Prat airport. The suspicious-looking 66-year-old was found to be carrying 6 beer cans and 2 hollowed-out stools packed full of cocaine. He was also wearing a cast, which drew even more scrutiny. The local police spokesman said that it is fairly common for people to try and conceal drugs within their casts. To test those suspicions, apparently border security has a spray that glows bright blue when it touches anything that's been in contact with cocaine. This turned out to be the first time that the officials found a cast made entirely out of cocaine. There was also a man found at Madrid's Barajas airport with 750 grams of cocaine hidden inside a prosthetic leg. If you thought a cast made of cocaine is impressive, how about a whole suitcase? We're just getting to the good stuff. A 26-year-old Argentine woman flying from Chile to Spain was found with 2 suitcases made of cocaine. The officials at the Santiago airport said that the woman was stopped because the suitcases appeared heavier than their contents. It was one of those crafty chemical manipulations of the drug, cocaine mixed with resin and glass fiber. Had the smuggling attempt been successful, an additional chemical process could separate cocaine from the suitcase's other ingredients, leaving it ready for use. If you happen to be a fan of high fashion, you may have heard of Manolo Blahnik, a designer of obscenely expensive shoes. As we all know from omnipresent knockoffs of any other popular brands, high fashion tends to attract imitation, but in this case, the knockoffs were much more expensive than the real thing. A gang of cocaine traffickers was busted in northern Spain. An investigation lasting 2 years uncovered an immensely successful operation. The smugglers created a cocaine paste, then skillfully pressed and molded it into imitations of Blahnik's shoes. They were then given to airline passengers to be worn on flights to different locations. While Manolo's original stilettos can sell for several $1,000s, the street value of one of those knockoffs is around $75,000 per pair. Security personnel at Madrid's Barajas airport busted another person for trying to smuggle 12 kilograms of cocaine. This time, the drugs came in the shape of 19 flip-flops and 62 bags. If you're starting to notice that a lot of drugs seem to be trafficked into and through Spain, there's a good reason for that. Spain's close ties with its former Latin American colonies, which are major producers of cocaine, and its close proximity to Morocco, a major source of hashish, make it a notable gateway into Europe for many traffickers. In fact, in 2012, 398 people out of Barajas airports of 45 million passengers were detained for drug smuggling. Sometimes you might not have the time, the talent, or the patience to carefully craft your drugs into incredible designer shoes. Apparently at those times, you might just as well just soak your clothes in cocaine. Another drug trafficking attempt took place at Madrid's famous Barajas airport. 3 passengers arriving from Peru looked awfully nervous, and drew the attention of Spanish police. Upon closer examination, their luggage was found to contain 55 kilograms of cocaine soaked into their clothes. Apparently cocaine hydrochloride poured onto fabric can account for around 14% of its total weight, and keep about 89% of its purity. These particular clothes were identified as suspicious after being put under filtered light. If you're blown away by these smugglers' creativity, apparently that kind of thing happens pretty often. A Bulgarian traveler at the Rafik Hariri International Airport, Lebanon, was caught with approximately 40 kilograms of cocaine soaked in clothes. A woman from the Philippines tried to smuggle 115 kilograms of cocaine soaked into 23 shirts, and an Australian in Dubai was found with 3.4 kilograms. Federal agents in Laredo made a super unusual bust. They confiscated a statue of Jesus Christ, complete with flowing hair and a golden cape, with as much as 6 pounds of cocaine mixed into the plaster. If not for the sniffer dogs, the statue may have been dismissed as just another trinket. Some say you couldn't put a price on Jesus, but this particular one would be worth about $30,000 on the streets. Stephen Robertson, a DEA spokesman in Washington, saved the worst of his legal vocabulary for this case. He said it was sacrilegious. Had the statue been successfully smuggled, it would likely have been diluted in water, sifted, and dried before being sold in small packages. If you still have any wonder left in you, the owner of the statue was a 61-year-old man, who paid $80 to a woman to take it across the border. This definitely wasn't the only attempt at sneaking cocaine into sculptures. Right before 3 massive sculptures by the famous artist Fernando Botero were shipped from Colombia to Spain, Colombian police found a total of 16 kilograms of cocaine mixed into the clay. If you think you've already seen the work of the finest of cocaine craftsmen, think again. How about an insanely detailed, hand-painted, 42-piece dinner set made entirely out of compressed cocaine? Spanish police strikes again, with a bust of 45 pounds of cocaine masterfully sculpted into a beautiful set of plates, cups, pots and saucers decorated with sunflowers.